Simulation Happy Hour acknowledges the land and the waters from which you are listening today. Welcome to Simulation Happy Hour. Sit back, relax, and let's talk about all things sim.
Hey everyone, we are at the Australasian Sim Congress here in Adelaide. And I've just been in a session where Tess Vawser was talking about a project that she recently did. And I thought it was really good and super exciting. So I thought I would grab her and have a chat about it. So, hey Tess.
Hi Mel, thank you so much. So good to catch up with you. And thank
Do you want
you.
to just, I guess, introduce yourself? Like, people would be hiding under a rock in Australia if they didn't know you, but do you want to introduce yourself and where you work?
Yeah, thank you. That's sweet. So I suppose I do see myself as a bit of a human switchboard. I like to connect people. So if I haven't introduced you to someone, and please next time come up and grab me and I can introduce you around. So my name's Tess Vawser and I am Director of Clinical Education and Simulation at Epworth HealthCare. I have been involved in simulation for many, many years. Hospital-based is really my jam and my passion is around that interprofessional multidisciplinary teams within and training within the hospital system. So Epworth HealthCare is a private non-for-profit, but we are a big education institution for many, many health professionals. So the undergraduate really sits with me, and also our education areas involving many simulation sites across Victoria within our hospitals.
Yeah, so you've got many sites and you've also set up many sim centres at those sites, and you've done a lot of things. And also, for many years in Australia, you've led from a national level. You were heavily involved in ASH, so the Australian Society of Simulation and Healthcare, for many years on the exec committee. And now you're on the exec committee for Victoria Simulation Alliance. So
absolutely, yeah. I'm trying to transition to part-time at the moment, but here we go.
Good luck.
We'll see how we could go. Yeah. Thanks.
So let's talk a bit about your project. So it was with undergraduate students and it was interprofessional, including SIM. Do you want to tell us a bit about it and why and how you got the results you did?
So, like, the title of my project is really about what the impact of interprofessional simulation with junior doctors and nurses' confidence managing curating patients during their first clinical practice years. But what we're really doing is putting the final year nursing and medical students through really true interprofessional simulation experience over. And we've been doing it now for about 3 years. So it's sort of a study that we're looking at, bringing them together. So obviously we know that they work together once they're out in their intern and grad years, and we understand the issues that the universities are having trying to get these professions to actually learn together with each other, purely because of the amount of students that there are. So we're fortunate at Epworth that we're actually a clinical school for Melbourne University medical students. So we do have students who are embedded within our facilities from their second year, MD2, right through to MD4. So we have them that come and live with us for those 3 years. And we're very fortunate that we have a fellowship model with our deacon nursing students, and also a fellowship model with our Holmes Glen. So our deacon nursing students are registered nursing students, and our Holmes Glen we do have registered, but we also have the diploma students. So we were very fortunate for when they're on our placements, we've been able to come to an agreement that we can have some of these students come up and do some simulations in their final year.
So what do you mean by fellowship?
Okay, so it means that these nursing students have elected to do their repetitive placements within our facilities. So that's how we have partnership models with lots of disciplines and various education providers, but the fellowship students are really They've done most of their placements within our facilities. We've got so many places we can offer them. So over the 3 years, 21, 22 and 23, we were able to allocate students during their placements to be involved in these interprofessional simulations. So
can I just ask, because that in itself is like a project in itself.
Absolutely.
Like, how did you get different unis agreeing to their students coming together on placement to engage in sim?
Right. Yeah. So that's what take me. So I've literally had this director role now for 14 years within Epworth. So over the years, I've been able to speak to the deans at the universities, and as long as it sort of fits in with some part of their curriculum, it meets their understanding. So I know that we've had that issues around how many hours a nurse needs to be on placement. But when we're bringing them up for a simulation experience, we're bringing them up for literally 2 hours. So they're coming, they're in their groups. So we can see that as either a part of their debriefing experience that they would normally be allocated to. And initially, what we did when we first did the study is we brought them up with their buddy nurse. So, and we've always had that agreement that that they couldn't come to any other sort of education experience that may be on offer, or grand rounds or guest lecturers. So we've always involved our students within any education opportunity that's available. So we were able to get it through. So and that particular day they don't have to come, they come up while they're on shift. They come up for their 2 hours, but then they're not allocated to come up for their so-called debrief with their clinical facilitator later on that day, because the facilitators are involved in this within the simulations. So they're really aimed to enhance their knowledge of the roles and skills about each other from each other. And then obviously we're allowed to do those other communication, teamwork and leadership. So it gives them an understanding of that throughout the simulations.
Excellent. So how many students would you get at a time, and what are some of the scenarios?
Yeah, so we average around probably about 18 to 24 medical students, and up to our 32 of our nursing students that are in our groups. So in 2021, we had a pilot. We basically had a pilot structure where we would have the University of Melbourne medical students and our Deakin University Bachelor of Nursing students. We would bring them up for that year. We brought them up for 2 sessions and 2 scenarios per session. So their first scenario would be a shortness of breath post-admission with pneumonia. The second scenario was a chest discomfort post-hip fracture and surgery. So really sort of a respiratory one and a cardiac scenario. In 2022, again, but this year we brought them up for 3 sim sessions over the period of the year, and then 2 scenarios per session. So again, a respiratory and a cardiac, and every over the period of the 12 months and the 3 sim sessions they came to, there was increased complexity with each simulation. In 2023, we were able to then include the diploma students. Again, that year we could only allocate them because allocation was huge. And amazing Brooke Alexander working with our nurse facilitators to get these. And when they're allocated to, and to work with the unis and our clinical schools to make sure that they were allocated. But in 2022 and 23, we went back to doing the 2 sim sessions and the 2 scenarios per session. Again, a shortness of breath and a respiratory and a cardiac. Again, increasing complexity with each sim. And this particular year, they were allocated to the same group for each simulation because we were able to do that. Interesting enough, that showed us that the difference between the 2022 and the 2023 was that it actually showed that 2 was enough to keep up their confidence and competence of understanding of interprofessional. So that really showed us then that we could go back and just to say that the interprofessional simulation program was effective in improving their interprofessional competency because of the subjective self-reporting and the objective observational measures. And it also showed that the efficiency of we could do it in 2, which was terrific. So because obviously it was most efficient and effective method, and it sustained significant improvement in the interdisciplinary values and interactions.
So is that because the same groups stayed together, so they were learning and improving upon performance together? That was the difference, wasn't it?
And then we wanted to see whether it was from the timing of it. So when we did the 3 groups, they came sort of beginning of the year, mid-year, and final year, just when they're going into final year. But when we did the 2 sessions, we had them in mid-year and final part of the year. So we're showing now that the 2023, and then when we did it in 24, it showed that they maintained the same level. So we had IPEC scoring. We had all the research gumph that you all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most research people do.
I know you. I love you, research people. I wish I'd met you all many, many, many years ago because I've got so much data. So many. We've filmed it all. Anyway, we've got it all there. We've done the right thing, so we've done it. We've done it now.
You had some great photos, which we can't show.
I know. I wish I could. There's this one photo.
Yeah, I know. What those photos show?
I know. There's this one photo, and I really don't even have to talk about it. I can just show this photo, and it's I describe it as there's this photo of scenario before we did the debrief and scenario post debrief. So basically, it has there's 8 students in the room, and all 4 of the nursing staff are at the head of the bed with the patient, and the 4 to 5 medical or how many we've got in there are down at the end of the bed chatting away. So it was just a snapshot of one. And then we've done the debrief and we've talked to them about, we've covered off on clinically, what the scenario was and, what they did well and what they would look forward to do differently next time. And then we've talked about those sort of team aspects and understanding of each other's roles and things. So it sort of highlights, because they know they're coming for scenarios and then they know it's about interprofessional, but then we put them back into the next scenario, and then you see there's this great photo of they're all paired off. So we have a nurse with a medical with nurse, and medical with nurse. So I've been able to just show that I'm just circling the colours and just saying, wow, look at that before and after. So yeah, it is. And then I have it also on video too. So it's a beautiful image of what the power of that debrief happens and when they explore it themselves. Yeah. So again, connecting people, so, and connecting what they're doing. So what we're doing now is that we're thinking that we're making a difference, and we've shown that we're making a difference at the undergraduate while they're in their final year and understanding their own profession and understanding each other. But what we thought we'd do now, and Brooke Alexander is now following through with this again, and thank you we have a wonderful philanthropy and our Epworth Medical Foundation that helps us fund this research, which is great because we're all clinical and we're all sort of working full time as we go along with this. So what we are now surveying the students now they're out in their grad year and their intern, and it's been phenomenal because not only are we getting a really good return rate
Which is
because
unusual.
I think it's so we found that that really highlighted the fact that they were really keen
Yes.
to get back to us. We asked their permission, and I don't know what it's like with you guys, but if you're trying to find a student through their university email address 6 months, 12 months after they're finished, you just can't get hold of them. So we do get their personal emails as part of the research project, and then we contact them. So the amazing Brooke, so she's been helping follow them up. So and we're really interested then in more so the interprofessional, their role, understanding their teamwork and their communication, and examples of did what they learnt in the simulation, or do they remember what was covered off in the simulation that may have now carried through in a deteriorating patient event. Role understanding, there's some great quotes, from a nurse saying, I learnt that doctors are very welcoming of our input and assistance as a nurse, that everyone can bring to different skills and ideas to a situation, because obviously during the simulations we empower them to speak up. Yeah. Whereas in the medical students is, oh, well, this is intern saying, I realise the limitations of my practice and how important it is for everyone to be on the same page so that each member of the team can effectively execute the plan. They're just valuable.
It is so
Teamwork
valuable because when they
example.
stick to their own disciplined groups, you become socialized into a particular way of thinking. So having exposure to those different perspectives in the undergraduate years, I think, is so formative and so important.
And these are comments coming from a grad nurse 6 months in, or 4 months in, 4 to 6 months in, and an intern who's 4 to 6 months in. Teamwork, they're saying things like medical, one was from a, Metcalf for hypoxia. I had to team lead without senior medical support. Was able to draw from the expertise of the experienced nursing staff and direct junior nursing staff in an organised manner. That's
Amazing.
gold. That's gold.
gold.
I mean, this is why we do it. This is why we do it. I mean, I just see these comments and I think, we're on the right track here with it.
Can you present next time when you get those results in? That would be super interesting.
Yeah, so this is again, so there's what we thought we'd do for the 2000. There's a bit coming through with wanting to speak up more. I know, and look at you with your work with hearing. So I'm thinking, and this is what's leading, so Brooke's going to be looking at this down the track too. So this is from a nursing student, grad. Sometimes it's hard to speak up in a busy, stressful clinical situation. However, I learnt from the simulation that communication is key to achieving optimal goals and outcomes. If you don't communicate, essential time gets wasted. So
like literally.
I know. How good's that? So look, this is why I do it. And I'm sorry, I'm not a really research academic, but
no, that's
I just
work,
love it. Yeah. Other things, I had the confidence to call the doctor, discuss my concerns and advocate for the patient. I mean, that's what we're nurses for, isn't it? So yeah, it's just great. Yeah.
And I guess it highlights how simulation, in Australia, it's not allowed to replace any clinical hours, but what an important adjunct to their learning. And they wouldn't get that experience in a placement beyond simulation. Like, when does that ever happen on a placement where you have that learning and debrief interprofessionally about an experience?
And that's true, Mo. Like all of the debriefs, we co-designed, that's the new term, isn't it? Co-designed our scenarios. I've always said that if you want to bring a nurse in, you have to have a nurse help design. If you want to bring medical in, you have a medical. So that's always been my mantra anyway. Don't turn the sim. We're not unlocking a sim lab or opening up the sim lab if you're not bringing another profession, or unless you can tell me why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And obviously we have, if the learning objectives are around specific uni discipline, that's fine. So we did all the right things. We got it all validated. We did the whole of the co-design. We had the students look back the following year to say if there were any need to change the scenarios. All they asked for is to increase complexity for the final year. So they do look at the technical side of it. Yep. So that worked really well.
All right. So one takeaway for anyone thinking about doing this. Patience.
Absolutely. So I wanted to do this for about 6 or 7 years. So it took me about 6 or 7 years to then get it done. Have it integrated now into their curriculum somehow while they're on placement, especially the medical clinical schools. We're sharing it with all the other university sites, the Melbourne University sites too. I'm not able at this stage to put, the 800 or 1,000 nursing students through the scenario with the 200 medical students or whatever it may be. But it's okay if we all just do our bit. Yeah. So whether it's, 36 nursing students and 20 medical students every year, but eventually we'll make a difference. So yeah, so
it's a great
small
model.
is okay. Small is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the difference, it's making not only for those students, but those patients within those reflective experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, congrats, Tess. That's an amazing job.
Well, thank you. I mean, there's been a big team that helped. We've got the Deakin Nursing Research Team, along with the Melbourne University, our clinical school. So, and then obviously there's a lot of the our my clinical education and simulation team involved in the running of the days also. Yeah. You can imagine they're big days. Yeah, and people are giving up their time to come, so it's been amazing. So, and thank you for the wonderful students.
Yes,
I generally, and I put a photo up at the end. I generally believe our future is in good hands.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to write this up?
Are you there? Yes. So, if someone said, "Oh, I need to do it." So yes. So I've what do you call it when it's in review? Well, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. I've submitted it. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So
I went to the top. I went to the major one because I thought I've got one paper in me. We'll see how we go with this. Mentoring the others on to lead on. So yeah.
Very
so
good.
you might see my name, but you'll definitely see Professor Anna Hutchinson from the Deakin Research, and then Brooke Alexander onwards and upwards. Yeah. So let's see how we go. And obviously the medical school are very involved in it. Yeah. So it's been great. So yeah.
So
thank you for that.
reading that.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up, so we've kind of almost at the end of the Congress. What's been your highlight?
Yeah, how good's this little booth? Everybody needs a booth.
There's these little quiet timeout booths around the place, which is excellent.
Yeah, we're building we're actually building a new, it's called our Brooks Academy. It's a building for nursing and midwifery at Epworth, and I loving these booths. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Booths. Yeah. Little podcast booth. Well done. Thank you.
So what's been your highlight?
For the conference? Yeah, well, obviously networking, it's always nice. I hadn't actually I missed the 2 years ago, and before COVID, we were all at them. So, yeah, so it's been nice to catch up. It was really interesting. There's been a lot of presentations around using AI.
Yeah.
So, I was doing a bit of chat GPT to correct my emails or maybe do a little bit of things, but really it's been quite interesting. I went to one, it was really around even scenario creation, and they wanted to look at it's what you put in to ask.
Yes.
So that was quite good. So the guys from Perth are doing some great things around that and gave us a great example. So with the context, request, actions, frame, template, and ask for examples, it's what you ask them. And the amazing Vic Brazel also talked to us about so that was a good keynote.
Yep.
I suppose one of my real highlights was we had the students from different universities from different professions, and they called it Sim Stars. That's right. Yeah. So, and that was this morning. So with the Sim Stars, they got them to create the scenario writing together. So it was really around scenario writing, and then obviously they had an opportunity to run the scenarios on stage. And this was going over a period, so this was like the grand finals, and I hadn't really thought that how important, or how you could actually do interprofessional education by writing the scenarios together. It was a real aha moment. I mean, obviously they had to then create the scenarios. But I think if the universities are really struggling with trying to get the interprofessional sims done, get them to start writing together.
Yeah.
There was great. We had pharmacists had written
really complex communication interactions.
They were,
they just pulled off beautifully.
I think the winners were pharmacy and physios.
Yeah,
writing a scenarios together around chronic pain. It was terrific. A translational using translators in the emergency department was another one. They were really intelligently written scenarios. Yeah. So, that to me, that was an aha moment is, okay, wow, we should be getting these guys to be writing the scenarios together. Anyway, next time. But it was great. So they called it Sim Stars, which was terrific. But yeah,
so thank
kudos
you for
to
your time today, Tess, and taking time out to have a chat and share your work.
Thanks, Mel. Yeah, thank you so much, and good luck with the podcast.
Thank you, and I look forward to reading your paper.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.